Trying to make a video here. What's going on, dudes and dudettes? So yes, earlier this week, 4-star interior offensive lineman Micah Banuelos. It was out of the state of Washington, so up north. He was considering only Oregon, Texas A&M, and USC, and decided to pick USC. He's a 4-star guy, so he's obviously pretty good, especially for an interior guy. I know he likes a lot of other talented dudes out there on the offensive line, so he's going to try to recruit them as well, but pretty much said that USC go into the Big Ten facing better competition, all that other good stuff, and obviously the coaches. He had a great relationship with the offensive line coach at USC, who was at Texas A&M. I guess that's why they were still in the mix. But of course, once he got the USC job, he quickly recruited him and obviously fell in love with USC. So hopefully we get a couple more guys like that. Haven't gotten many this week, just him only, but it is a big get for the 2023 season on, so definitely looking forward to that dude coming on campus. Then Paolo Banchero, the number 1 pick from Duke to Orlando, he's apparently going to sign with the Jordan Brand Classic. So it's not Nike officially, it's not Adidas or anything like that, but it's the Jordan brand, so it's one of the better brands out there for your clothing and shoes and stuff like that. But I just think it's funny that Michael Jordan, an ex-North Carolina great, also has Jason Tatum, ex-Duke player, and Zion Williamson as Jordan Brand athletes who are making him so much money. So I don't know if it's a bad thing for Duke that they're making a North Carolina guy money, or if it's, sad that he has to get Duke players to make him money. So either way, it works out because a Duke guy gets a lot of money. So congrats to him. Definitely looking forward to see what type of shoes he comes out with. Then the Lakers extended one of their assistant coaches, Phil Handy, who apparently was a big reason why LeBron James is on the Lakers and still is staying. I think he was in Cleveland while LeBron was up there as well. So it's a good thing to bring him along, and I think he is good friends with Kyrie Irving as well, so this might be able to entice him to want to join the Lakers if there is no trade and he is a free agent after the season coming up. Pretty sure that's what all these signings are for. It's so dumb, but that's how it works. Then, yes, as I mentioned in the last video earlier this week, Derwin James was going to practice no matter what, but for some reason now he has missed the first 2 days of the workouts, and it's only because he hasn't gotten a new deal, which is pretty obvious because you don't want to get hurt and lose your leverage in trying to get more money, trying to be the highest paid safety. I'm sure he is. But overall, I heard GM Tom Telesco talk an interview today that he did yesterday, saying that they have made some really good progress in the talks, and hopefully a deal will get done soon, but he doesn't expect it to go too far into the training camp, so hopefully it doesn't, but it could, because Joey Bosa did that as well. Even Keenan Allen did that as well too. Then Kenneth Murray, one of the younger linebackers that they drafted in the first round a few years back, apparently he's going to start this training camp on the PUP list, which is unable to perform, something like that list, where you have some type of injury where you can work out solo and stuff, but you're not working out with the team and maybe getting hurt or something like that. So he can stay on this list and still kind of work out here and there at the facility for, I believe, the preseason. And if he is still on the list once the preseason is over, then he has to get onto another PUP list, something like that, where he can't return until like after week 4 or week 6, something like that. It used to be like half the season, like week 8 or 7, and they used to have to stay out, but now it's changed to where they could come back a lot sooner. But hopefully he doesn't. I know he wasn't my favorite overall pick to do at that time in the draft a few years back, but hopefully he does get better, because he was talented his first year and all of a sudden he had a weird hiccup his sophomore season. Then the Lakers have signed center Jay Huff, who was playing for their summer league team, to a Exhibit 10 contract. So I don't know what that really means, like the last video, but it is pretty much an invitation to the training camp to be able to try to get a better, longer contract. So hopefully he can. I remember him as a pretty good, solid defensive crazy defensive rebounding, a good 3-point shooting player at Virginia, because obviously Duke plays him when he was in college, but he kind of just hasn't really pushed and made it to an NBA roster. But now it looks like he has been in the Lakers organization the past 2 seasons and might be pushing for that last, center spot that they have available. So you never know, but definitely it looks like a G League type of player in my opinion. Then a couple more guys were added to watch lists for, award season at the end of the year for college football. On the defensive side, Tuli Tuipulotu is one of their better interior defensive linemen. Was named to the Nagurski watch list, so I'm pretty sure that goes to the best defensive lineman in the country. And then also Andrew Voorhees was named to the Outland List Award. I forget if that's the best tackle or the best offensive lineman, something like that. But either way, still good recognition for these USC guys, not only for season coming up, but if they do well enough, they could get drafted high as well. So definitely looking forward to that. And speaking of USC's Tackett Curtis, I spoke about a few videos back when he committed to USC. Apparently now, after some more, recruiting that ESPN has done, they've named him the top inside linebacker on their list, their recruiting list, which is pretty cool. So I'm pretty sure other places will follow and start putting him that high. So it's good that it's making USC's numbers look good in the recruiting standpoint where, these guys are definitely getting ranked higher and it's definitely looking good. So hopefully he does end up sticking with the 2023 class. And then, the Detroit Pistons, I always forget, I think I was a Duke fan before JJ Redick, because for some reason, I think it has to do with the video game, because I remember having a Nintendo 64 basketball video game where I believe it was Grant Hill, who's an ex-Duke player, was on the cover, and he played for Detroit at the time. So you always kind of just picked one of the top guys on the team or on the cover because you knew he was the best player or the better team to play with. And that was who I always played with. And I had even a Grant Hill jersey. People can attest to that. I remember having that as a Detroit, even though I was a Laker fan, and I still had a Shaq jersey as well when I was a lot younger. But yeah, for some reason, I don't know why I didn't stick with it. And I think that's why it led me to liking Duke in the end, because it was either between JJ Redick of Duke or Adam Morrison of Gonzaga. So I think I made the correct choice. But it's also pretty cool that they're bringing back these teal jerseys, because that's what I remember, the logo of the jersey that I had as well, and shirts of Grant Hill. These were the better looking jerseys from Detroit's past that they haven't brought back in a while, but of course they are bringing it back this year, and of course it looks great. But I'd rather have a Grant Hill jersey in that, but of course it probably is going to be pretty expensive to get. Then the Chargers hired an ex-quarterback, Pat White, to be one of their offensive assistants. He was actually really good in college at West Virginia and tried to make it with Miami, a couple other teams in the NFL, just couldn't do it. He was a bit smaller. He was more of those option type of quarterbacks, but yeah, he still was very successful in college, so that's definitely why you get your shot as an offensive assistant. See what he can do, see what he could teach to Justin Herbert if he gets the opportunity. So we'll see about that. Then both Malachi Nelson, quarterback, and the wide receiver, Zachariah Branch, coming in the 2023 USC recruiting class, they've been killing it as far as getting ranked high and getting all their 5 stars. So according to this report, that since they've gotten 5 stars in 4 of the top recruiting bases out there around the country, they both are considered 5-star plus recruits, along with a couple other dudes. Even one of those guys, I think the defensive guy, the cornerback, isn't even committed to a team yet. So he's such a great player, yet he hasn't even decided where he wants to go, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, as of this second, USC has 2 of those 5-star plus recruits, hoping to add another. But yes, very awesome. But we did get some weird news about Nelson this morning, that he was going to visit Texas A&M, I believe, today. And I believe he did mention this to Lincoln Riley, USC's head coach, and it was all cool that he did. He just wanted to be able to check bases and make sure he's making the correct decision, look at all his options. And it is kind of weird because he did already sign an NIL deal where he would be promoting some type of Texas-style barbecue restaurant in LA, doing commercials or social media for them, and also going to be hosting events during, like, tailgating events for USC games this season coming up, even though he is a senior in high school, which is pretty crazy. So I don't know if he's just doing this to get a free trip to Texas A&M, see what it's like, get a couple free swag stuff, or maybe they might be able to change his mind. You never know, but USC is definitely in the top 5 or definitely top 10 when it comes to the 2023 recruiting list. And Texas A&M, yes, they did have the number 1 class this year, but next season in 2023, I think they're like 60th overall. So why are you going to go there if they haven't really filled out their roster? They did this year, but they probably aren't going to be in the future. So I don't know. Hopefully he does stay, but it might just be then USC goes off and tries to get another one of those talented guys out there who may have said they're going somewhere else, and then they could just add more money. And just a crazy thing of college football now that's it's going to get regulated very quickly by whether it's the government or stuff, but yeah, it's just freaking crazy. Then the Anaheim Ducks have been secretly making some signings that, of course, I missed, but yeah, I forget the positions, the amount of years, the type of contracts, but I'm going to mention all the guys' names, or at least I'm going to try to, because they are pretty tough. So the first guy I saw them sign was Pavel Mintuyukov. I think he was one of the younger guys that they got recently, so congrats to him. Then Urho Vakanian, something like that. Yeah, they signed him. Simon Benoit, another guy they signed. Ollie Eriksson Ek, who I believe was a goalie that they signed. And then Isaac Lundstrom, Ollie Juliolevy, yeah, never seen that. It's definitely some Europeans or Russians or Canadians, some type of guys out there that they've signed. It looks like a lot of them had jerseys from real NHL teams, so they were probably they have been playing in the NHL, so they aren't just guys they signed off the streets. So overall, we'll see what these guys can do. I'm surprised they are signing this many guys. I thought they already had enough dudes on their roster, but I guess we'll see. Then, of course, this article came up asking if the Lakers' 2020 championship is legit. Obviously, I hate talking about this because, of course, it is legit. They did it in weird circumstances. You were isolated the whole time. You can never really do much other than around the little campus that they did have, that hotel area, and they still did their work and did all this stuff, even though they weren't considered the best team in that tournament or the playoffs out there in Orlando, but they still won. They beat out the Clippers, every team that was hot at the time, even Denver. They met in the Western Conference Finals. They beat Miami as well. They beat in the finals. Every team, like, they lost the first game, but they realized what they had to do, and then they won 4 straight every single time until the finals, where they ended up losing 2 games, but still they had the advantage in there as well. And even like this stat that's been going around where throughout that whole entire season, whenever they led after the third quarter, their record was 57-0. So it's pretty obvious that they were a pretty dominant team even before they got into the bubble as well. So I don't know what these people are saying that it's not legit. They're just pissed off that it was easy if you hunkered down and did your job and played your heart out and got the W. But a lot of these guys didn't really care, just like the Clippers getting all those main players, and they didn't care, and that's what happened. So pretty sure it's all Clippers fans that are more pissed off than anything, but that's what happens when you get those type of players. Then, yes, the other day, I think it was last week, it was the 5-year anniversary of the death of Chester Bennington of Lincoln Park, which obviously sucks. Probably the first time since then that I haven't posted social media, but I'm not really on social media anymore, so yeah, it just sucks. Definitely always still listen to Linkin Park whenever I can on shuffle. So yeah, still a great band, still a great dude. Rest in peace, buddy. And then some more miscellaneous news that Blink-182, there was some talks that they might be reuniting, just because even the new guitarist Matt Skiba, that's in the band now, said on a recent interview that he doesn't even know if he's still on the roster or on the band lineup to be able to play in Blink-182. So it is kind of crazy that even he is saying that now. I know they're having some cryptic messages from both Tom DeLonge and the other guys at Blink-182 on social media, but I think it was more because I don't know if it's the 30th anniversary of the band or of when What's My Age Again, the song came out, but I believe they were teasing that Funko Pop is going to do a trio of the older Blink-182 band lineup, but it's going to be the naked version, just like how they were in that music video as well. So it's going to be kind of funny. Probably the first version of Funko Pops that are going to be looking like they're pretty much naked or might be bare ass on all of them. So it's going to be pretty funny, a nice, collector's item for people. But yeah, people are also kind of expecting because of this that they will end up being reunited with Tom DeLonge. I don't see it just because he's still freaking busy as usual. So yeah, I don't see it happening, but it could be fun to see how those Funko Pops turn out. And then, yes, to finish this off, according to this thing, they said that USC has the 5th best odds to win a championship this season coming up, betting wise at least. As a true USC fan, I don't see it because they're not ready on the defensive line. There are other questions along the defense as well. Even their offensive line is questionable at times. And just because you have a really talented quarterback and a couple receivers and running backs, you're not going to win every single game. You still need a good defense. So I still don't see it. But I did go through this whole top 50 list of teams, according to this, betting-wise, that would be able to win a title. And it's pretty crazy how many of the teams that are on the list, which even goes more against my argument that it'll be even a tough schedule to get through for USC, which I see them having hiccups against Oregon State, against Utah. Obviously, Notre Dame later in the year is going to be big, and UCLA just beat them last year, and I know USC is going to want to kill them this year in the Coliseum, but you just never know because they have a 5-year quarterback returning. But like I mentioned, Notre Dame on that list has the 8th best odds to win a championship. Utah has the 10th best odds. Oregon, the 18th best. UCLA, the 30th best odds to win. Cal, up there in Berkeley, 45th best. ASU, and Arizona, 46th best. Oregon State, 49th. And Stanford, even Stanford has the 50th best chance to win, according to this betting website. So overall, it's going to be a tough season either way you look at it. It's Lincoln Riley's first year. Yeah, there have been guys who have had a lot of success in their first season as a head coach, and he is coming, with a lot of pedigree and from a really good program, but it doesn't always work like how it does in video games. So it's going to be fun to watch, at least more fun than it has been the past couple years. They will be more competitive, I believe, in a lot more games, especially games that they lost last year. But overall, there's too many questionable games and hiccups. So I'm going into this half empty, not half full season look on it. So yeah, thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.